faux pas, a nutrition mistake that I used to make all the time and recommend it to my clients. And it's still being perpetrated today by uninformed nutritionists, personal trainers, fitness enthusiasts, doctors, all kinds of people. So I wrote a deeper, in-depth article, which I'll probably forget some of the stuff that I included in there, but I wanted to go over this. So eating multiple times per day is something I used to do, and it's something that's perpetrated, especially in the bodybuilding community, where they say eat 6 small meals per day. That way you'll basically be stoking your metabolism, so you won't run out of energy, so you'll get your energy in, it'll come down, it'll go in, up, down, up, down, up, down throughout the day. Okay. The thing with eating multiple meals per day, if you have to eat multiple meals per day, then you are more than likely eating more carbohydrates than you should. And that is not a good thing. So in regards to my past, so when I was in my bodybuilding years, about 10 years ago, I would be consuming anywhere between 7 to 10 meals per day. And I've heard of certain bodybuilders, I think it was King Kamali, who was eating like 16 meals per day. So that takes a lot of time. Basically, for me, eating and cooking and prepping was a part-time job. And for some people, it's like a full-time job. And many people that are busy adults, they got kids, they got jobs, they got other things they got to concern themselves about, they don't have time to do that. And I would recommend to my clients, say, eat a minimum of 5 times per day. This will help stoke your metabolism, help get you into the fat burning mode and all that stuff. But basically, if you are eating that frequently, what's happening is more than likely you're eating, again, more carbohydrates than you should. So the blood sugar is going, once you eat, blood sugar is going up and it's coming down. And when it comes down, that's when you get hungry or cranky and hungry. So you got to eat again. And more than likely, you're going to eat more carbs. So it's going to go up, down throughout the day. Okay. When blood sugar is elevated, insulin levels are elevated, then you cannot be burning fat. And more than likely, you're storing more fat. Because when you eat, the body needs to take what you ate, take those nutrients, and do something with it. So it needs to either store the protein as amino acids, it needs to store the carbohydrate as glycogen, or it needs to use the carbohydrate, or it needs to get rid of everything as waste. Okay? So if that's happening throughout the day, up and down, then you're not a fat burning machine. You're basically a fat storing machine, basically. Now, if you are, hold on, I lost my train of thought. But what we want is the blood sugar to be even keel throughout the day. So we want to focus more on lower carb, higher fat, okay? And moderate proteins. So it's kind of like a ketogenic, but you don't need to be strict ketogenic. You can go low carb, high fat, and still maintain your blood sugar levels throughout the day. So I only eat now. I try to just do 2 or 3 times. 2 is my magic number. Sometimes I'll even do 1 meal per day. And sometimes if I'm fasting, I'll do 0. And sometimes I'll do 0 meals for multiple days. I think the longest fast I did was 4.5 days. Okay. But if you are eating that frequently, 6 meals a day, 5 meals a day, even 4 meals a day, that is, you're digesting. You have to digest that food. And digestion is one of the most metabolic demanding processes of our body. So when we are digesting, other systems and processes get shut down, or they get turned down significantly in order for the digestion to occur. That's why they tell you never to eat too close to bedtime, because especially heavy foods, carbohydrate foods, that kind of stuff, because it will mess with your sleep. And our sleep is the most important thing in terms of our health and fat loss as well. Okay, so we don't want to be digesting every 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is. Okay, so we talked about blood sugar and insulin levels. So those will be elevated throughout the day if you are eating multiple meals per day. And if you do need to eat every 2 to 3 hours, again, it probably means you're eating too many carbohydrates. So we need to lower those and focus more on good fats. and good proteins. That doesn't mean lean proteins. It means good, healthy proteins. So like grass-fed, pasture raised. But I understand if certain people are not at a place where they can do that, then just do the best that you can in that regard. So with protein, we don't want to have too high a protein because that will raise our insulin levels as well. And they say every time that you eat, it was supposed to be 20 to 30 grams of protein. That way you get the proper amount of protein in, because there's not a storage site for protein in our body. So that was another reason they recommended eating the 5 to 6 or 7 meals per day, because we don't have a storage site. If we don't get the protein in every 2 to 3 hours, the body will start basically eating our muscles. That's a bunch of bull. Okay, it's pure bro science. Okay, it was started in the bodybuilding community and it's been perpetrated. I used to believe it as well. So I used to think that if I didn't wake up and within a half an hour of waking up, eat my breakfast that had lots of good proteins, that my muscles would shrink and I would just basically shrink up into a shrivel of myself. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, yep, I declined it. I'm doing a video here. So that was another reason for thinking that way. And so again, digestion, one of the most metabolically demanding processes in the world. And we don't want to be constantly digesting. Okay, it takes our energy to digest, and it takes a lot of other processes that need to be happening, which includes fat burning. So when you're digesting those foods, fat burning is basically put to a halt. So what I do now is basically low carb, high fat, ketogenic type of stuff. If you've been following my videos, you know I have the 47-day ketogenic diet challenge. Link will be down below. Other links to help you grow stronger, all that stuff will be down below as well. Sometimes when you are starting off, you do need to eat multiple times per day, because a lot of people who have been dieting, they've basically wrecked their metabolism and they've been eating 1,200, 1,500, 1,700 calories, just whatever. So we always need to figure out what our BMR is, basal metabolic rate. Go to the, the calculator site. They've got a good calculator for figuring out your BMR. Spencer, shh. They got a good calculator for figuring out your BMR. And so they'll give you two numbers. They'll give you a BMR. The BMR is your basal metabolic rate. That's the number of calories you will burn basically sitting around doing nothing, lying around in bed. Okay, that's the number we don't want to go under unless we're doing like a fast or a cleanse day or something like that. Okay, then the second number is your BMR with activity. That's the number we want to work with. So we want to be closer to that number, but we don't want to be too far under it, because that will put us into survival mode. We want to be, they say, anywhere between 200 to 500 calories. So I say, so let's say it's 2,500. So 2,500 calories is your BMR with activity. So workout days or more active days, you probably want to be somewhere between 2,250 to 2,500, and non-workout days, maybe somewhere between 2,100, 2,300. So that will put you in the fat burning mode as long as you're not eating multiple times per day. Okay. Remember, when we keep that blood sugar more even keel, the insulin levels more even keel throughout the day, and more fat, lower protein, lower carbs will help do that. Okay. But that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much for watching. I will post the, well, it's not actually an article. Well, not yet. I will have it up sometime.
This one's smaller. This one's very big.